Alright, welcome back to my channel. This is part one of a new series. And right after I record this one, I'm gonna take a couple minutes so I can eat, and then I'll record the next part of what if Naruto was the reincarnation of Scorpion and the Smoke. And thank you to all of those who commented, saying that Scorpion's real name was wrong person, was Hizashi. Pretty sure I'm pronouncing that right. Hiyashi, something like that. Thanks for that. Shout out to y'all. Y'all the real MVPs. But listen to what if. This is what if Deku was seen as a villain, or what if Deku had a lightning and fire quirk. Now Deku's lightning would not look like average lightning. It would actually be blood red. And his fire would be, he would have black fire like a Matarasu. So he'll have blood red lightning and black, fire like a Matarasu, like I said. So there's more to Deku's quirk that he actually knows. It's going to take him a while to actually figure it out. He can transform into a phoenix, which I actually see as pretty cool. But the fire is going to be black. And the phoenix still going to be gold, though. He transforms into a lightning. But instead of this blue-looking fire-ish, aura, stuff like that, it's going to be, lightning. And it's going to be red. So, he has two swords. A blade of lightning, which look like lightning, with a lightning pattern on it. A katana, but I don't know what to call it. I'm going to figure out how you say lightning in Japanese, and I'm going to call it that. And a blade of the dragon, which is going to have black markings, which I should have put. But the sword is not actually, like this steel color, this color right here. Not the hilt. I mean, not the hilt. I want to talk about this part right. I can't, what it's called. The sheath, not the sheath. But the blade itself is actually going to be black because of the Amaterasu flame that's going to go inside of it, imbuing it with the black flames. So let me get into this. Deku is the son of Inko Midoriya and Hisashi Midoriya. He has a twin sister by the name of Izuki Midoriya. Now the difference between them is Izuki is going to get her mother's quirk. Getting that telekinesis, that strong telekinesis actually. And another difference between them is Izuku's hair. Izuku, instead of having his father or his mother's, hair, he has, red hair. It's different from both of them. It's also with his eyes too. He has red eyes. Red eyes that glow somewhat, if you can notice it. Which weirded both of them out. It was Hisashi thought the Inko was cheating, but that notion was quickly put out of flame when Inko said then both of the kids would look like that. So growing up, Deku was kind of ostracized because he was different from his parents. But nothing really changed that much as, he was still that kid. But when he turned... But when he turned 4 and him and his sister was going to get go to the quirk doctor, he was very excited. Him and his sister, as they rushed into his, their parents' room, begging them to take them to the quirk doctor. Now the difference between him and his sister is Deku was very smart for his age. This is his electricity quirk, boosting his intelligence. And it also boosts his physical feats off the bat. So they actually go to the quirk doctor. They get dressed, they go. So they run a test and they determine that they do have quirks. They just don't know what they are yet. So they try to see if they have their quirks. So Izumi goes first and she tries to see if she has some other quirk. And she tries to lift what looks like a can. and she does. And she tries to lift heavy objects as she gets up to a car. As much as she can do right now is the much as her body can handle. Now it's Izuku's turn. They try to see if he has telekinesis, but he doesn't. And Sashi says focus on fire, like that fiery feeling. And Izuku does, and black fires come out, which this is seen as villainous. As they start thinking that this is a villain quirk. As they say, okay, try to see if you have anything else. And Izuku started imagining anything else, and then he get this tingly feeling. So he tries to focus on the tingly feeling, and he shoots that forth, and they see blood red lightning, which they say this is definitely a villain quirk. As Inko and Hasashi are looking at Deku weird. Deku, still being kind of young, don't know what that face means. So they chop it up to, Deku having an electricity-based quirk and a fire quirk, and basically his sister having a telekinesis quirk. Now, things will go like this. But before I go any further, I was thinking about a what if where I tell the story of two different people. Like two different main OCs. So I'm just gonna do that one after I do the other part. Or I can do it like this. Yeah, I'm gonna do it like this. And this what if I'm gonna do that. So Izuku gets to school the next day. He tells Bakugo, he tells his class, that he has a quirk and he shows it off. Most people call him villainous. Deku says it's not villainous. No. Then Bakugo says that his quirk is awesome when she shows explosions. And Deku says that's villainous. As Bakugo says, no, it's not. It's flashy. And your quirk is villainous. He says, what? We're going to call you villain. No, let's make it shorter. We're going to call you V for villain. So they start yelling him V, villain. Some saying Vi, or some calling him Vil. He just gets the moniker villain from that school. And it starts to hurt him. His sister joining along. Bakugo and his lackeys and his sisters start to try to beat him, but he always, defend himself. But every time he does, he gets in trouble. But he wouldn't let that turn him down. He'd always try to be a hero. He'd always try to stick up for the other person. But every time he does, that would just calls him a villain. Deku would then proceed to basically get perfect grades. When I mean perfect, I mean perfect. Every time they go and take a major test that goes over the whole country, he'd always get first. In which some people would see as great. Like, the parents of this kid must be very spectacular. But they don't see what's happening on the outside. They only see what's happening on the outside. They don't see what's happening on the inside. As Hasashi and Inko start to neglect Deku, forget about him, not worrying about him, because of his villain quirk as they see it. Not knowing that this is what actually causes villains to appear. The neglect. The constant reminding that they have a villain power, but it's actually not. So, this is happening over years. Deku tried to get his parents' acknowledgement of his smartness, his powers. I mean, he even went to a dojo to learn how to do, martial arts like kendo. So he can use swords and stuff like that to accompany his martial arts. He learns how to fight like karate, taekwondo, jiu-jitsu, all of that. He learned boxing, takedown tactics. He learned a lot of these things, and he implemented through fighting different dojos. And they see that he'd quickly be a prodigy in fighting. But his parents never acknowledged him, just calling him a villain and to get out their face that they don't care. So Izuku, by the age of well, by the age of 8, he just stopped. No, not 8. By the age of 11, he just stopped trying to get his parents' recognition. Just started focusing on him. One day he was out walking down the street. He saw this man that was hurt, so he brought him to the hospital. This man thanked the kid after he was helped and said, "Why don't you swing by my studio? You can probably just try to do this thing. If you got the voice for a kid, I'll give you a job." And Luke says, "Okay." So the next day, Deku had free time, so he did. He swung right by the man's studio, and the man gave him, a beat and told Izuku to sing with it. He sung with it, and the man saw that Izuku's voice was like an angel's. When he started singing, he got just hooked to the song. So the man started listening. He's hooked to the song. Only thing he can listen to. He's imagining every word Izuku says. So, that's another picture I gotta get. So I'm gonna end this one, shorter. Like, I'm gonna end this after 10 months training when I get to that part, so I can get more pictures. Like, of what Deku really looks like. I just want to get this picture because it had fire and lightning in it. There's one more picture I gotta, choose for what Izuku looked like. So, this man started getting Izuku to sing different songs, and he started posting these songs. And it makes millions, because Deku's voice, people just get accustomed to it. Not accustomed, like, they get drawn to it. So his music is buying off the shelves so fast. New artists, new mystery artists no one knows of. In Izuku's house, his sister plays that song, loving whoever's singing it. Cannot even tell that it's her brother. And people just start to love this song. Now, Izuku is 12 years old. While I was walking down the street one day, he met this girl. Her name being Kaminari. Denki Kaminari. And this is female Kaminari ship, because I really like the electricity matching. So Deku saw her finna be robbed, as she tried to use her quirk to stop the robbers, but it did not work. So Izuku came in, used his martial arts skill to knock down every single last person. He says, "You have a pretty strong quirk, you just don't know how to use it." She says, "Thank you for saving me." But what do you mean? As Deku says, "I have electricity. I can show you how to use your quirk." And she says, "That would be helpful, so I can defend myself." As Deku says, "Sure. Meet me here at Dagobah Beach. Tomorrow." And she says, "Okay." Now, Dagobah Beach is not this wasteland like it was. Since every time someone throw trash at it, Deku will clean it up. Getting very good because people would dump large things, and Deku would always have to clean it up. And since he couldn't really get a moving truck, he'd have to do it by himself. He had to walk all of that for like miles, and that would help with his muscle development. So Deku would help Denki, with her quirk, tell her how to regulate it, let it flow throughout her whole body, and do this every day so that she can get this control, like this, basically familiarity with the electricity being inside her body. So she listened. This helped her get a kind of resistance to her quirk. Like, it would still make her go dumb, but she can get a resistance to it. Like, after she used her quirk for like over 2 hours, it would, she'd get that, feeling. She'd go brain dead. But if it's just for like a couple minutes, nothing gonna happen. So this is just when they're 12, and it's gonna keep going up. Deku will teach her how to fight, stuff like that. And this is when I'm actually end this what if off. I know I said I get to the 10 months training, but I'm gonna have to get the other picture so I can do what I also want to do. So thanks for watching. Peace out. See you guys in the next one. This is gonna be like part 1 of part 2. See you guys next one. Peace out.